Hello everyone, welcome back to Scienceology Class 7 Chapter 1 Nutrition in Plants. In today's video, we are going to talk about nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. So let's get started. Now, nutrition. The word nutrition tells that it is the food that is very necessary for a person or any living organism for its health as well as growth. So nutrition can be the process of providing or obtaining the food necessary for health and growth of a living organism. So as we learn in grade 6 that this nutrition is very important for a human being because this helps in our health as well as our growth. So not only nutrition is very important for a human being but all the living organisms. So as we know that plants are very similar to us, they are similar to us in the nutrition that we both take. So as we know that the both plants and us are like the similar way, we both need the same type of nutrition but not all plants are like us. So this tells us that there are classification in plants. So all plants are not like us but few plants are like us. So they have types of nutrition. We don't have, that means humans don't have any type of nutrition. We don't have classification in nutrition. Every single person needs the same type of nutrition. Now, but plants they have types of nutrition. For this chapter, we have two types of nutrition, which is autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. So let's get to know more about them. Autotrophic nutrition. The word auto means self or by its own, and trophic means nourishment or nutrition. So the word auto means it already says the word suggests us that it's own by its own. It can make it by its own. So trophic means nutrition. So this means that the plant that falls under the category autotrophic or autotrophs, they can make their own type. They can make their own food, which is nutrition. And examples of them are mango tree, strawberry plants, banyan tree, fenugreek trees, and or methi. So all of these are fall under the category autotrophic or autotrophs. So these can make their own food and they don't need any other plants or any other living organisms help to make its own nutrition. So it can make its own nutrition and it can make its own food. How these autotrophs make their own food and why can't the other classification, which is heterotroph, can't make its own food? So these plants have a green pigment called chlorophyll. So this is a secret of autotroph, and that is the reason that autotrophs can make their own food, chlorophyll, and they also perform photosynthesis. So over here we have chlorophyll is very important for the plant to make its own food because chlorophyll is something that the other plant, the other classification doesn't have or may not have. So chlorophyll is very important in the case of autotrophs because this is a secret of the autotroph, and that is why the plant autotrophs can make their own food and they don't have to depend on other plants for their food or for their nutrition. So how do they perform photosynthesis? So they have this chlorophyll in their cells, and this thing chlorophyll gets carbon dioxide as the plant respires, and with some water that we pour, the reason why we pour water is that this water is useful for the photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide plus water in with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll gives rise to carbohydrates and oxygen. So the chemical equation for this is that 6CO2 plus 6H2O with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll gives rise to C6H12O2 plus 6O2. So C6H12O2 is carbohydrates and 6O2 over here is oxygen. So it means carbon dioxide plus water with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll gives rise to carbohydrates plus oxygen. So carbohydrates is synthesized carbon dioxide plus hydrogen, which is and plus oxygen. So you mix up carbon dioxide, hydrogen and oxygen, you will get the synthesized carbohydrates. So the chemical equation, as we know here, we can see C6H12O2 is C means carbon dioxide, H means hydrogen, and O means oxygen. So we have the chemical equation solved. So this thing, how does chlorophyll look in the plant? So stomata is something very important again, because for photosynthesis we need the air, which is carbon dioxide, and stomata is the gateway for carbon dioxide. So stomata is behind the leaf. That means the downside of the leaf you find some minor small holes which are stomata, and these are the gateway. For stomato, as you can see over here, the stomatal opening. So this is the opening, and this is the gateway for the carbon dioxide to get into the plant, and then that carbon dioxide is used for the photosynthesis. So you can see these are the guard cells, and this is the stomatal opening, and once the carbon dioxide comes into the leaf, it closes. And you can see over here, this is the a section through a leaf. So if you see over here, this is where the chlorophyll is there and is stored, and this is stoma, which is stomatas, and this is guard cells. As this is a close-up of the stoma, you can see this is, if you zoom into that, you can see this guard cells over here, which are closing and opening for the air, and stomatal opening. So the gateway for carbon dioxide is stomata. And as you can see, as I said, that autotrophs are the plants which can make their own food without any dependence on the other plants for nutrition or food. So you can, I already said that they can make food with the help of chlorophyll, and the chlorophyll is the secret of the autotroph, and that is why you can find the plants like autotrophs can make their own food. So you can see this is the meaty or fenugreek leaves. You can see if you observe over here, the leaves are having green pigment, which is chlorophyll, and that is the reason they can do photosynthesis and make their own food. So here we have banyan tree. This banyan tree is also having, if you observe it a little close, then you can see the leaves are having some green pigment in it, and that is chlorophyll, and which helps for photosynthesis, and you can make your own nutrition. And the same goes to mango tree. You can see some green leaves, so they store chlorophyll, and that is the reason they can make their own food. Now talking about the other classification, heterotrophic, or these plants cannot make their own food. The word hetero means other and trophic means nutrition. So this means that these plants over here, you can see the pictures, they depend on the other plants so that they can get their own nutrition. So it means that the plant depends on the other plants for nutrition. You can see over here, this is a Venus flytrap, and you can you may ask me that you can see some green color structure over here, right? So it is chlorophyll. So why can't it make its own food? So the thing is that over here, all these plants are having green, uh, chlorophyll is stored in them, but they can use that for starch. But the thing is that nitrogen is very important for any living organisms to live. So this is a problem for them. They grow in nitrogen deficient soil. So they have low rates of nitrogen. So that means they need so much amount of nitrogen so that they can grow. So they are having the lack of nitrogen, which is very important for a plant to grow. And that is the reason they trap insects. So the insects is something that they can trap, because they cannot trap any big organism, because their the trapping thing is can only sit for an insects. So this is the venom fly trap. So when it spreads an essence or a perfume type smells for which the insects attract and fall on the Venus flytrap, and they close shut, and then they release their digestive juices and then digest that, and they will get their own nitrogen from the dead insect. The same goes to sundew plant, but you can see some dewdrops on the tentacles. So these close when, like, they roll when the insect falls on the dewdrop, because the dewdrop is works like a glue, so it will not let the insect to fly once it's trapped. And yes, it will roll into Swiss rolls, you may have seen. So it just rolls like that and traps the insect, and yes, it will pour the digested juices on it and digest it. This is a pitcher plant. So the pitcher plant is just looking like a pitcher. So you can see the cap over here. The Once the insect gets into the pitcher plant, it goes inside the cap over there. It close shuts, and then digests juices, it digests. So these are all the examples of heterotrophic nutrition, but these three have the same kind of problem. But we do have classifications in heterotrophic nutrition as well, which we'll be discussing in the next video. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.